Welcome to Letty Speaks, where we turn pain into passion and find meaning through experience. Every day is a new day to find joy in the moment and live life abundantly. We speak and we listen and we don't take it lightly. Let's jump in and see what Spirit has to say. Hey there. So immediately what I'm hearing as I sit down just to do a general reading spread, I hear Spirit saying, there is time. There's time. There's still time for you to enjoy life in a way that you've always dreamed, in a way that you've always hoped. So for someone, there's a question or an issue with time for some reason. But I hear Spirit saying there is time. The question is, what do you want? That's the question. Thank you for stopping by to Letty Speaks, also known as Sunfire 369, where we try to pull the life and the inspiration out of everything. And so we are here today. If you are enjoying the content, please hit the like button. You could also share, comment. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. All of those ways are ways that I appreciate you helping me to grow the channel. And so, I definitely appreciate you stopping by, taking a listen. You didn't drop by just by perhaps, or I feel like something has called you here, whether you stopped by on purpose or whether you just trickled in and it caught your eye. I feel like there's always something Spirit could be speaking to you, for you, through me. Maybe something that you need to relay to somebody that you know, right? It all is connected. I've come to understand that. And so welcome. And so let's jump in. Let's not delay the time. And let's see. We have Camel Boy, Sisters of the Seasons, and Dream Walker. So there's the enemy, the energy, the enemy. Okay. The enemy. Time is not your enemy, right? Time is on your side, is what I hear Spirit saying. For somebody, you feel like time is the enemy, but it's not. And so with the Camel Boy, the Sisters of Season, and the Dream Walker, this is the energy of being in a position of all you have to do is ask for any help that you need, for anything that you need, period. Overall, it's opening up and expressing the need that you have. Right now could be a very significant time in almost like tying up loose ends or doing the practical groundwork that needs to be done. And it could be simple things like making sure that you are washing, cleaning out all your clothes that you no longer are wearing and giving them away, making sure that your home is clean. This gives very practical energy during this process, right? And it's almost like taking care of the things that you do have control over and submitting those things that are a little bit more out of your control. It's being very practical and mastering or handling those things that are a little bit more practical and down to earth, and kind of releasing what is bigger than you and asking for the assistance that you may need with the bigger things. It's also the energy of understanding that there is the cycling of seasons. Every season has its time. And there's nothing that we can do to rush the seasons. They're a very natural part of life. And each season demands a certain amount of time to express what it is. And Spirit is saying, wherever you are right now, like, not to try to fight it. There's nothing that you can do to rush through this part. There's no shortcuts, right? This is a very necessary part of the overall process of your life, of your journey, and you can't skip it. You have to allow this time to be what it is, what it needs to be. There may in fact be things that are being prepared in this season that's going to help you when you reach the next season, right? Just like in winter, things are germinated under the ground, things are being prepared. You can't really see them on top of the ground, but underneath the ground, there's lots of things happening, lots of activity, lots of germination that's happening, so that when spring comes, it has been prepared to rise up and do what it needs to do, right? But the winter season is very appropriate. It's very necessary. And so it's almost that kind of energy. And not feeling or not trying to escape any particular part of the path, right? It's submitting to it, whatever season you're in this moment, and understanding that it's natural. You're not out of balance. You're not out of whack. You're going through the exact point in time that you need to be at this time, according to the natural flow or the natural cycles of growth. It's in divine order. So whatever it is that you have been given is very much in line with what Spirit has for you. And so here we have the energy of dreams, of which there's two ways that we can perceive this. It's the dreams that we have, the dreams that we bring to the table, and then there's the dreams that are given to us through divine influence. And understanding that the dreams that we carry, those dreams that we carry in our heart are ours, and the ability to really understand the connection of our dreams with the divine, right? So yeah, there are things that we dream of doing, but until we really and truly understand that we've been given, we are given desires, right? We're given When we connect ourselves with the divine, we're given the desires of our heart when we allow ourselves to be. And that's when they cease from being small. When we allow the divine to give us the desires of our heart, dreams that actually are for the overall good, for the collective good, right? And that's when we step into this area of amazement, because many times it's much bigger. It's something that you would never even think of or imagine on your own. It's given to you through the divine. That separates it from being your dream to being a dream that the divine dreams for you, right? And many times, because it is bigger than us, there's the need to understand that that's where the need for asking for help comes in. Because it's such a huge task, it's such a huge thing that we couldn't possibly even think of where to start with it, you know? And so it's in the asking where the help comes in areas where we feel limited, where we are in fact limited. And so this is the energy of the help coming in. When you ask, the help coming in to actually move you through this, what this feels like here as being out of your own control and being kind of at the whim of nature taking its course. It takes you effortlessly through, right? Which is just an illusion. Time is just an illusion. Space is just an illusion. And so it carries you through that so that you can actually see the truth and celebrate walking through this dream that's going to result as you submit and ask and allow yourself to receive what the divine dreams for you or has dreamt for you. And if you're already familiar with what that could be, with what that aligns with as it pertains to your life, then you understand what it means to be in that space where you're like, okay, so I know what's been given to me. I know what I heard. I know what has been shown, but where do I start? Or how do I move past this feeling of stagnancy or feeling it's not stagnancy, it's an illusion of time again and space, but it's actually the cycle that you're going through. It's the divine order that has to take place. Because remember, there's no skipping steps, you know, as you're running up the staircase. There's no skipping steps. There's no shortcuts. Like every step is offering something purposeful for when you actually get to the top of this process. And so you skipping steps or trying to get shortcuts to override those parts of the journey that don't seem pleasurable or exciting or don't seem fruitful, understand that they are, and that they're offering something that is needed, right? Just like we were talking about the seasons and how winter seems like a very stagnant season, but yet there's a lot that's happening. Even though you don't see it, it's a lot that's happening underneath the soil, right? It's a lot that's being prepared for when spring comes, which is a very visual season, right? But there's a lot of preparing for spring that happens during winter. And so this is that kind of energy of understanding and submitting your way of doing things, your way of seeing things to a higher order, to a higher process. And even though this may not be an exciting point in life, it's being able to celebrate it in spite of. This is also a time to allow yourself, if you've allowed past dreams to kind of slip away, this could actually be a time to re-engage and with those things that you've kind of tucked in the background or put away. This could be a time to re-engage those passions and aspirations that at some point you left behind. And it's inviting you to allow yourself to dream again. Allow yourself to dream again. And don't give up on them, no matter how big they are or they seem. Understand that you can, and that they do actually come to fruition, is what Spirit wants you to know here. And if for some reason what you're experiencing right now seems very opposite of the dream that you've dreamt, maybe you feel like you're in like some kind of nightmare, right now, well, understand that in the same way that there's this great energy working for you, working through you, giving you what you need, that same energy is able to turn the most horrific situation into something beautiful if you allow it. If you allow it. Remember, time is an illusion. Seasons are necessary. And that same energy that's able to come in and bring the most wildest aspirations around your dreams to fruition is the same energy that can turn something that looks negative, something that feels negative. It may in fact be very negative right now, but there's a way that the energy is inspiring to bring things together for your highest good. It may not feel good, but if you have an understanding of the illusion of time and space and how we're seeing things, and actually lift up your perspective to match and align with the Creator, with the divine, the result will be very different. You'll be able to look back and piece together how those things that seem like they were working against you at the time were actually working for you. Not necessarily having to change those things, but it's changing you so that you can attract something that aligns more with what it is that you are expecting to pull in for yourself. Isn't that how God usually works, right? He doesn't change the situation, but he changes us. It's that kind of energy that I'm feeling here, which is beautiful. It's beautiful. So for someone, this is a reminder that time is not of the essence. It's an illusion as it pertains to you. It's not as important as you think it is. It's not as important as you think it is. And yes, you do have enough time to enjoy life in the original intent that was meant for you. This is what Spirit is saying. So we have body and soul, birds of a feather, and smoke and mirrors. So I'm hearing that this is around inherited traits. This could be energy you're operating in the physical form, like money, family, energy around survival, mindset, security. I'm getting earth energy here. Stability, things in the material world. So for some, this could be pulling in a bit of stability for yourself. This could be setting up that energy, setting up things that will provide a level of security and stability for you. I'm also hearing this could actually be some type of healing that you are pulling towards yourself within your actual body. This could be some healing coming towards you that would allow you to be more stable in your body, within the life that you're living. This is bringing in the energy of understanding that there is a need to see yourself as a complete package, not separate when it comes to your body and when it comes to your soul. There's a need to be comfortable in the body that you're in. This is a drawing towards authenticity and good physical health, or the way that you view yourself in a good light. And so this is calling for extreme self-care. We're not talking about spa days and, pedicures, and we're talking about putting yourself first. And being honest with yourself. And not being selfish in a way that would put other people's interests above your own. And this is in the light of being able to be authentically you, putting a sense of pride and worthiness on you and what you represent and what you bring to the table. And not shunning that because there may be a conflict of interest for others, right? But it's understanding the importance of allowing when it comes to you. Allowing yourself to be held up in a sense of worthiness. It's beautiful when you have others to see you that way, but I feel like this is more so talking about you being and having to do that for yourself. So this may in fact be someone that does not necessarily have the support, but it's drawing attention to the importance of the spirituality that is very present right? Yeah, you're in a physical body, but just equally as important is the spirituality that resides within you as well. It's acknowledging that as you're experiencing physically, and understanding the deeper aspect of why you've come here. There's a purpose. Even when there's days where things seem insignificant, there's a purpose on your life. There's intentionality for you being here, right now, in this collective story that you're in. Yeah. So this is coming into that energy of stability within yourself, both physically and spiritually, equally as important as one is to the other. They serve as a whole, as a unit. And so it's almost like the yin yang sign, right? Equally proportionate, not disproportionate, but equally important as well. It's a balance. And so taking care of yourself is what this means. Especially if you don't have anyone else to assist you in that way. I'm getting that. This is someone who is necessarily having to, which it should start there. Even if you're surrounded by people who uplift you in that way, at the core, that should already be present. And so you're drawing in towards you what's already at the core of your being, right? But this is talking about you versus you. Not necessarily outward influences. This is all about stability happening or being drawn towards you within yourself. This is all you. And as it pertains to the energy outside of yourself, when it comes to love or compassion, when it comes to community, when it comes to relationship, and that energy of unconditional acceptance, wholeness, peace, that you feel in your surroundings. You're bringing in that energy. You're attracting towards you what it is that you need. That's going to give a level of opportunity as it pertains to being part of community and sharing with people that see through kind of like the same lens that you're seeing through. And this is going to help to grow you in a way that's going to help you see outside of yourself. And see yourself in a collective position, a collective disposition as well. And it's almost like magic. It's almost like magic how this is being attracted towards you. And this could very well be something that's happening spiritually. You may find yourself connecting with people spiritually. I'm hearing that as well. People that get you, people that see you eye to eye. And it's almost like a surprisingly intimate spiritual connection. And this could in fact be with people that you've never even met before, that just get you like that are showing up to support you, that you're sharing in this energy all around you. And so if it's not a physical community, which it could be, this could be something spiritual all around you, coming in to support you and to help you to thrive and grow. Yeah. And so that's the energy. I feel it's more spiritual than I do physical, though. And so this could very well be people that you're connecting with on a spiritual level, that's actually in some way helping you to grow, helping you to thrive, helping you to learn, helping you to connect in a way that's beneficial for everybody, not just you. They could be on that same wavelength. They're on the same wavelength. So I feel like there's a group of people that are connecting spiritually, people that have not met in the physical realm. I'm getting that really strongly. But there's a connection in the spiritual realm that serves the same purpose. There's like a collective experience that's happening. It's serving the same purpose as, say, you being a part of some type of organization or community where you come together with like-mindedness to share goals and aspirations. But this is spiritually, though. And it's to fulfill that energy, that need for community. Because you can't grow on your own. You need a community of people to actually grow, to continue to grow, right? We were not created to be alone, but we're created to connect. And so Spirit has created a collective for you to tap into that's helping to nurture you in that way, and that you are connected to, that there could be a group that are being nurtured in this way that you're connected to. I'm also getting the energy of intuition that's at play here as well. The energy of light being shown or being shined in on this experience. Vision, imagination, premonition, a deeper knowing with perception. And it has a lot to do with understanding in the spiritual realm. And so this talks about the ability for you to be able to see through what has previously been set up for your existence. It's being able to see through or step outside of the box that was created for you, or see past walls that were set up to keep you housed in a certain room, if I could say that. And so there's a truth that's coming in that could very well be outside of everything that you've known in the past or what you have been taught or learned. And it's being able to see past that. I feel like it is connecting with this energy of a dream, the dream that spirit has poured into you. Not necessarily the dream that you have dreamt, but it's the dream that was given to you. And through this dream, you're able to see past the restrictions that were set up for you, realizing what is really possible. Part of this is holding yourself accountable in ways where you will have a change of your worldview overall. Part of that change is realizing, being able to decipher energy and information for yourself. In this sense, truth can be relevant to a degree. You know, truth, personal truth is based on experience. So what could be true for you may not be true for everybody, depending on their level of experience or the specifics of their experience. And so there is energy of cultivating your truth according to what you have been allowed to experience. And a lot of it is understanding what has been blocking you from reaching this level this far. That's the smoke and mirrors, the things that were blocking you from being able to push past the limits and align yourself with the dream that would seem unattainable, but because this dream was given and poured into you from the divine, it is very much attainable, or else you wouldn't have been given it. Because the divine gives things that are in alignment. You'll never be given anything that is impossible. Right? Why would you be given something that's impossible? Why would that be placed in your heart if there was no possibility that that could ever come to pass? That's not how the divine works. That's not how God works. But God lifts us up to realize our potential. Now, where you were 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago may in fact you were in a place where that would be unattainable, but where you've been brought through your experiences as you have awakened to your true self, to your authentic self. Now, what was impossible, according to what you was long time ago, now becomes possible because you're no longer that person. You no longer stand in that place where you stood back then. So there's a lot of breakthrough happening here, a lot of self-challenge, challenging how you're seeing yourself, how you're seeing the world, how you're seeing others, how you're looking at things. And I feel like it has a lot to do with seeing things from a more spiritual perspective. So we were talking about time when we first started. In the spiritual aspect, time is irrelevant. Time is an illusion. When we're talking about spirit, we're not even talking about time. There are things that are happening on your behalf that are in the spiritual aspect, in the spiritual realm, it has nothing to do with time. And it has everything to do with divine timing, not necessarily anything to do with time as we see it, but it's divine timing. There is an appointed time and appointed place, and it will be so. It will. And it's understanding that. And pushing past everything set up to keep you from it, which is growth. We're created and conditioned to see things in a linear way, right? Which imprisons us to time and space and a very restricted way of thinking. But the challenge up to this point for you has been just that, to break past that, past the delineation, past the separation, seeing yourself as separate from everything and everyone, when in reality, we're all connected. We've always been. Seeing things in a finality way when really nothing is final, Not even death. There is a transition that happens. Not a finality. And so pushing past that fear of, what we see as all there is when there is so much more. There's so much more. And we have an innate feeling of that moreness. But not a lot of people have the guts to seek it, to find it, to ask of it, to prove it, right? But it's all in perception, and allowing yourself to receive. Again, there's the dreams that we dream, and then there's the dreams that's been given to us that are much bigger, much more vivid, much more wild and lucid, right, than everything we could even imagine, right? That's how you know the difference between what you've dreamt and what's actually been given to you. And if we really look at things, we understand, every time this card comes out, it always takes me back to the energy of the Matrix, how everything in the Matrix, everything in the world, the simulation is just set up for show, right? It's just set up for show. But when you begin to seek and inspect and investigate below the surface, there's a whole world of reality, of operation, but it takes guts to dig below the picture, to look behind the mirror that's reflecting what it is that we're supposed to see. But it's having the nerve and the audacity to look for the deeper truth. That's our job, to look beyond the illusion. And I think that's why science sometimes gets a hard rap, because science is really housed to do that. It's housed to dig beyond the illusion of what something is and find out exactly really what it is, right? What looks so pretty, the body, the flesh, the skin, when we begin to dissect and dig in and dig deeper. Yeah, when we dig deep, we began to see, oh, okay, so basically we're just kind of like when we look at the body scientifically, we realize that we're actually just a sack full of fluid, basically, with some sticks, the bones holding the body up into place, a few sticks in there, some lines of communication that carry fluids and what have you to different parts of the body, right? As you begin to look in, it looks very different. It is very different than what it looks like on the outside. From the outside, we look like this thing that has it all together. That's beautifully, well, we are beautifully woven together. That's a fact. But as you begin to investigate and search on the inside, underneath the skin, you see a very different picture, right? And it's the same thing with, the earth as well. You look at a tree on the top, from the roots up through the branches, things look very beautiful. But as you look down underneath the ground, you see a whole different life that actually fuels and supports what you see on top. Without that underlying life underneath the ground, there would be no trunk, there would be no branches, no flowers, no fruit. So there's always two sides of everything. And the world that we live in is the same way. And it's being willing to investigate below the surface to see what's really going on. That's what's happening here with you. And science is a very good example of that, The need to tap into that and the need to understand that consciousness is fundamental, that time can be bent, and that we are eternal, right? I'm quoting that directly out of a book. That's so beautiful to me and so true. And so these cards here are from this Oracle of the Seven Energies. So this is a lot like being able to sense that moreness. And then being able to drop down into your heart space and sense what that moreness is. Investigate, inquire, open up your consciousness to see. So creativity is at play here, and it has something to do with the fifth energy center, the throat chakra, creativity. This is talking about that open space that actually creativity is cultivated from. This could have something to do with the voice. It could have something to do with hearing as well. The throat chakra talks about being able to receive messages as well as give, talking, using the throat, speaking your truth, also hearing truth as well. But I feel like the giftings lie in that area, so you could be some type of creative. There is a need to attend to the throat chakra and keeping that area clear. The throat chakra talks about an open space. It is known as the space of ether, right? It's an open space, a passageway that allows creativity to flow. And so there's definitely a need to tune into that area of your energy system and allowing yourself the space. Not necessarily that whatever it is that you'll be tuning into or tapping into to create, you're not looking for perfection, but opening the space is going to be like the start of that process. If you haven't reached a level of proficiency yet, it's setting the intention and making the space for it. Also, I'm getting the energy of the first energy center, which is the root chakra. So there's a need to find stability in this, to find a groundedness in this. This could be something that is just being tapped into, and there needs to be a level of stability created around this, a level of normacy and consistency, so that you can find that balance in this, or find that sense of home in whatever it is that you're creating. And so a couple of the energy centers that may need to be focused on is the first, which is the root chakra, and then the fifth, which is the throat chakra. Those are two energy centers that may need to be focused on right now. Because whatever this is, this could have something to do with tapping into your dream or the dream that's been given. This is the energy that it is flowing through. Something to do with the voice chakra. And needing stability in order to cultivate or flow in this way. And so I feel like this also is asking you to not be afraid. If you are someone that has been given the overall vision, right? Remember we talked about that in the beginning, about this not really being something containable on your own, but this is the dream that's been given to you. And so it seems very big and maybe even a little bit intimidating, but it's taking small steps, going back to the camel boy, being able to take small steps as you're waiting for things to be moved along naturally. That also applies here as well. Whatever this is, it's almost like tackling the small practical parts of it, right? And then allowing or asking, inviting in help as, opportunities come in for people to come and help with the bigger things. Yeah. I get a sense that this is going to be possibly more like a group project for some, because I'm getting a collective support coming towards you here. But through this, there is a need to stay grounded and rooted and bound and secured in yourself, in your truth. Don't get lost in the sauce, is what I'm hearing. I want to take a look at, let's see. A couple of other things here. So I feel like you are very good at making good decisions. You're very good at making good decisions. I feel like you're not someone who has a hard time transitioning, is what I'm feeling here. Like when it's time to release things, you're really good at doing that. When it's time to welcome things in, you're really good at being open at that way. I do see this energy of fluidity. And so in addition to that, I also see this openness that you have. So you're really good at being open to change and to perspectives, different ways of doing and seeing things, and pushing past anything that might cause a level of fear or intimidation. There's strength there with you being able to move and transition into the unknown. I feel like there's also a very secure level of acceptance within yourself. And this could definitely be, I try to look at significance in everything. Liberation within the heart space. Being liberated from anything that would be able to pull you back or hold you back. And also being assertive and sure of what it is that you're moving towards, or what it is that you're moving away from. This could be in relation to information coming in towards you. So there's, I sense a bit of a guidance happening here. And a connection with nature as well. And I feel like there's a relation to what it is that you are seeing that's allowing you to open up and to understand the uniqueness that you represent. And this could actually be allowing you to be more open to see yourself in a very beautiful way. It's almost like looking through rose-colored glasses at yourself and at others, but not losing sight of what's true, though. It's deciding how you're going to look at things, you know, using perspective to draw out the best in things when possible. I feel like those are areas that you're good at. Definitely areas that you are very versed in. Let's see. I'm feeling like this is definitely like a new way of being. You may have recently, and when I say recently, this could be like over the last year, 6 months, you know, kind of stepped into something new, a new way of being, a new way of relating to everything around you. You could actually be offering something as well. feel like there's definitely a connection to service. This could be something that you're manifesting. During that manifestation process, I feel like there's like a shedding of unnecessary weight. You may find yourself releasing old ways, releasing things, releasing relationships. There's an exchange happening here, the old and stepping into a new. And with the Fool carries the energy of exploration, right? The Fool is a definitely someone who is looking to experience things that has not been experienced before. There's almost a level of freedom through exploration, freedom through the intention of experiencing life from a space where you're not really expecting anything, but not really being in the energy of demanding anything, right? It's just almost like being open to exploration, to seeing what this is going to bring in, you know. As you can see, his head is pointed up to the clouds. He's carrying a flower, has his knapsack, like about to walk off the edge. He's not really caring about anything, but just open. And then the number 0 carries the energy of nothing being set in stone. Like anything can happen, anything is possible, right? And so if there's any energy that's relevant, I feel like it's the energy of reciprocation, like and all of the openness and freedom that you're in. I do feel a level of wanting to receive back what you're pouring out. Not really having expectations, but if you are to pour out, you want to pour into a source that's able to reciprocate that. And so going back to the original thought, as I went into doing this spread, it was about time and about how Spirit is saying that you have not run out of time, like you still have time. There's ample time, as a matter of fact. And so it's taking the restriction out of your situation by removing time from it, right? There's no rush. There's no need to think that certain things are now off limits because there's a certain amount of time that has passed or a certain amount of time that's left. This is the energy of understanding that you exist in this space, a space that you're creating as you move forward, right? It's almost like a blank slate that's being created, that you have been given the opportunity to create as you go. But understanding what that looks like as you move along and the different aspects of your journey that are significant right now. But overall, I hear Spirit saying time is your friend. Because it's not about a right time or something should have happened by now, but this is about divine timing. Something that was always going to be. It was just a matter of allowing Spirit to designate what that looks like. Yeah. And so that's the reading that I got for you. I hope that there was something here that you were able to grab hold of that applies, whoever this is for. And so please like, share, comment if you resonated with the energy of this reading. Not everything has to resonate. Some things may resonate, some may not. It's a general reading, and so it could resonate with a lot of different people in different ways. And so that's what I have. Again, I appreciate you stopping by and allowing me to speak into your life. I don't take it lightly, so that's what I have for you this evening. Until next time.